Hey there YouTube, this is Vargas XX78 with another collection pickup video. I just wanted to share with you guys all the stuff I've picked up these last 3 weeks. So let's get started. First off, I might have mentioned this before in some of my videos. I'm a huge fan of Japanese samurai culture. Anything that has to do with samurais, I'll pick it up. And at an Overwheels, I saw this guy had this deck of cards. It's a deck of cards, you know, your standard 32 deck of cards. And I picked it up because it had this samurai image on the back. So I thought, cool, maybe all the cards have different, you know, or it has a samurai theme. But no, it's just your regular deck of cards. It just happens to have this one image on the back of each card. Plus it has what I'm hoping is Japanese kanji. But I got it really cheap, so I can't complain. I just wish it would have been a little bit more samurai oriented. Picked up some video games. This other guy at another swap meet had 64 card, so I decided to pick it up. He had it really cheap. That's the reason why I picked it up. I got from him NHL 99 from EA Sports. Much like basketball, I think hockey really translates really well into video games. I only have one other 64 hockey game, and that's Wayne Gretzky's 3D hockey. But I played this a little bit, and it's actually pretty cool. I do like the game itself, but I do prefer Wayne Gretzky's a little better. Also, I had just gotten over my Fire Red Pokemon addiction, so I worked that out through my system. But I just picked up Pokemon Platinum for the DS, and I'm addicted to Pokemon all over again. I've been a fan of Pokemon since the red version back in the original Game Boy. And every time I play a Pokemon game, I get addicted to, you know, catching the Pokemons, trying to fill out the Pokedex, battling all the gym leaders. I know that technically it's the same game, it's the same concept each game that comes out. You're a kid that decides to become a Pokemon trainer, you leave your house, you meet up with a Pokemon professor, he gives you your Pokedex and your first Pokemon, and he tasks you with, you know, finding Pokemon for him and getting Pokemon information. Well, at the same time, you're trying to beat this evil organization that uses Pokemon for evil. It's basically the same thing throughout the game series, but damn it, every time I play a Pokemon game, I just get addicted with it. It's like I can't stop trying to level up the Pokemon and you know, trying to catch all the Pokemon, and then you got all the legendary Pokemon you have to catch. But this version actually introduces a lot of Wi-Fi options, because they came out with Pearl and Diamond before this, but this is the more complete version of that. So I got it really cheap, and I'm really happy I got it because, like I said, Pokemon is just incredibly addictive, and even though it's a repetitive story, it's still a lot of fun. So that's what I'm playing right now. Also, another system I was able to give some love to was the Dreamcast. I don't own that many Dreamcast games. Actually, my Dreamcast collection is the smallest one in the whole vault. But this guy had this one Dreamcast game, and it's a game I've actually been trying to track down for a long time, and that's Soul Calibur. The Dreamcast was an awesome arcade machine for, you know, arcade type games. A lot of really cool fighting games came out on the Dreamcast, and they ported really well. I'm a big fan of the Soul Calibur series. My favorite one is Soul Calibur 2 on the GameCube, but I have Soul Calibur 2, 3, and 4, and it always bugged me that I was missing the first one. So this guy had it, and I picked it up, and it's still incredible. The graphics really still hold up. The fighting mechanic, like I said, I really like the Soul Calibur series. So the fighting mechanic for me is really cool because you get used to use all the weapons and stuff. Just a really good fighting series. I really like it. I still need to pick up the 5th one and Broken Destiny on the PSP, but I was just really super excited to pick up Soul Calibur 1 on the Dreamcast. Just a fun game, and I'm really happy I picked it up. Picked up some books. I picked up for really cheap this box set of Forgotten Realms by R.A. Salvatore. And it's the first 3 books of The Legend of Drizzt. Now, I know of the character because of a PlayStation 2 game called Forgotten Realms Demon Stone. And there's one level where you actually meet up with Drizzt, who's this like dark elf. But the box set has book 4, which is actually the first book that R.A. Salvatore wrote on Drizzt. So it's got book 4, book 5, and book 6. And I really like the art cover. I'm sorry, the artwork on these covers. I think they're really cool, and they look really epic. I haven't actually gotten down to read them, but they look really cool. They're soft covers, and I have resentment for soft covers, but I got it really cheap, and there's 3 books in it. So I thought it was really worth it, because I really got curious about that character in the PlayStation 2 game. So I want to read more about this. Also picked up a really nice hardcover edition of The Wind in the Willows. I remember the story from the Disney cartoon. They paired it with The Legend of Ichabod Crane. It's about this frog that gets into a whole bunch of trouble. So I saw this at a swap meet. I thought it was a good read. So I decided to pick it up. It actually looks pretty cool, and there's some really cool artwork in it, which I should have bookmarked so I could show it off, but oh, there we go. Here's one. So yeah, but I really like the artwork. I have to actually sit down and read this one too, but it looks very cool. Now, the next book I picked up, I might get a lot of comments on. Like I mentioned before when I picked up that Dragon Tarot game, I do like to, research some stuff, some supernatural stuff, and I'm always on the lookout for books like that. And I saw this one book at the swap meet, so I decided to pick it up because, again, I got it really cheap, and that's Fairycraft. And I know what you're probably thinking, like, Vargas, why the hell did you buy a book about fairies? But fairies are actually related a lot with the Wiccan craft. It's not bad witchcraft. It's basically just a magic through the elements of the earth, and they're in touch with the earth itself. And fairies play a lot of that because fairies do kind of represent elements and stuff like that. So I decided to pick it up because it does give some tips on how to commune with the elements or how to contact fairies. It even has a really, I thought it was a really interesting section on how to actually acquire and craft your own wizard wand. The only thing about the book is that the fairy research isn't quite all there. I've read more research on the subject from the internet, and this book actually does omit some big things, like the names of the fairies, the classes of fairies. But I thought it was interesting. Again, I got it for a really good price, and it does have some interesting topics that I didn't know about. So about fairies and witchcraft. I'm sorry, not witchcraft, Wiccan craft. So I thought it was a good read. But again, yeah, I know it's fairies. Another book I picked up Charlotte's Web by E.B. White. This one actually has a lot of really cool drawings throughout the book. They're in black and white, so they're not as epic as The Wind in the Willows. But I really like the story of Charlotte's Web. I remember the animated cartoon, and I even liked the live-action one they had with Dakota Fanning. It's just a really good story. I really like the story of Wilbert the pig and Charlotte the spider. And I've seen this a couple of times in the swap meets, but it's the regular paperback cover. And this one has the dusk jacket, and it's hardcover. So Also, I got it for a really good price, so I couldn't pass it up. It's a really good book. I really, really like it. Another thing I picked up is the Bone Volume 4 graphic novel. I only have one other volume of Bone, and that's volume number 3. So I was really happy to pick this one up. The only problem is that it's missing the first couple of pages. It actually starts on page 7. So that's kind of a bummer, but other than that, it's a good book. I really like what I read with the Bone series. It combines comedy, it combines this epic fantasy adventure with a lost princess and this horrible supernatural evil that wants to take over the world, of course. But it's a really, really good series. I've actually been meaning to track these down at Comic-Con. So if I find the rest of the books at a good price at Comic-Con, I'm definitely going to pick them up, because the Bone series is actually really, really cool. As far as, fantasy comedy comic books, you can't go wrong with this. It's just really, really good, and Jeff Smith did an awesome job with this, so really happy to pick up Volume 4. One more thing I picked up. I picked up this because of the cover and because of the back. I love King Kong, and this back looked really, really cool. And it's basically a catalog for this store that handles old comic books and movie posters. It's a nice big magazine, and it has some brief story or synopsis on the comic books that they sell. I thought it was something else entirely, but it does have some pretty good looking glossy images of the comic books that they sold back in 2002. It's just a catalog, but again, I really liked it because of the front cover, but mostly because of the back cover. I thought that was really epic, and I got it like really, really cheap. I got it for 10 pesos, so I decided it was a good buy. Like I said, it has some really, really good glossy images of things like Batman and Action Comics and early Marvel. So I thought it was an interesting pickup, so I picked it up. Now on to some movies. I picked up the remake of this a couple of months back, the one with John Travolta, but I was able to find the original Hairspray with Ricki Lake and Sonny Bono. I actually remember this one, watching this one, and I remember Ricki Lake got famous because of this movie, and she had her own talk show in the 90s, but it's just if you like musicals, you like it, but and my movie tastes are very weird. I like a good dumb action movie. I like a really good horror movie, but sometimes I'll also sit down and watch a really funny musical, and this is a really good. Both versions are really, really good. I like elements of the remake, and I like elements of the original one, so both versions are actually pretty awesome. I also picked up The Exorcism of Emily Rose. This is an interesting movie. It's like a documentary / horror movie, wherein this girl called Emily Rose was supposedly possessed by a demon, and the father tries to save her, but I haven't seen it in a while, but I think she dies. So the father goes he's taken to court because he faces criminal charges and everything. And the movie handles it very interestingly, where you don't know if she was actually possessed or if she was just troubled. But I liked it. It was a really good movie, and this is the unrated version. So I haven't seen the unrated version. I've seen I went to see it in the theaters, but I have to see this one, see if it's better. Now, I'm really excited about this. I was able to pick up The Professional Golgo 13. Now, I remember seeing a couple of the episodes because he had an anime series, but I mostly remember Golgo 13 from the NES video games, The Secret Episode and the Mustafat Conspiracy. And I thought Golgo was actually pretty badass. This movie is awesome. The animation is really, really cool, but Golgo 13 takes a job to kill the son of a famous or a rich millionaire. Obviously, he's rich, he's a millionaire. Anyway, he kills the son, so the millionaire wants revenge, so he hires his own bunch of assassins to track down and kill Golgo 13. So Golgo 13 has to survive all that, and at the same time figure out what happened with the job. This is really, really cool. I really, really like this anime a lot. And the guy also had the second movie, Golgo 13 Queen Bee. Now, the animation in this is really cool. But the story's not that great actually. Golgo 13 isn't much in it. Half of the movie focuses on Queen Bee, who's this like revolutionary assassin that goes around the world sleeping with men. Half the movie is her in sex scenes sleeping with a whole bunch of other guys, including Golgo 13. So it's weaker than The Professional, but it's still pretty cool. I still liked it, even though again it's not a Golgo 13 movie. It's a Queen Bee guest starring Golgo 13. But picked up this King of the Cage DVD. It's basically a mixed martial arts event that happened. Haven't seen it. Picked up Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. This is the 2-disc family version. I remember watching this. I wasn't really impressed by it. I liked Robin Williams as the Bat, but the animation was kind of weak. Tim Curry was also really cool as the voice of this smog creature. But like I said, the animation's not that cool. The environmental message is not that cool. But a lot of people, rightly so, reference this when they talk about the James Cameron movie Avatar. How this outsider gets engulfed and learns about this secret world by a female person. So that's the reason. The box is even blue like the Avatar, so like, But that's the reason why I picked it up, because again, it's not a good movie, but it is like, it's like the animated version of Avatar. Also picked up Harry and the Hendersons, a really cool 80s movie that came out starring John Lithgow, who you might remember in Cliffhanger or in Third Rock from the Sun. This is actually a really cool family movie that came out in the 80s. The effects on Harry, which is this giant Bigfoot, are really, really cool. He has this whole range of facial expressions. The story is about this normal run-of-the-mill family that runs Bigfoot down, decides to take Bigfoot back to their home, and this whole bunch of stuff happens. But I really, really like this movie, and I'm really happy to have picked it up because it's really, really cool. Picked up Ocean's 11. I had Ocean's 12, and again, the comic book collector in me, I'm a completist. I have to own everything in the series. So it kind of bugged me that I had Ocean's 12 but not Ocean's 11, but now I do. Also picked up Paul, the unrated version starring Simon Pegg and Nick Frost, who of course did the awesome Shaun of the Dead and Hot Fuzz. It's not directed by the same guy that did those two movies or Scott Pilgrim. It's actually directed by the guy that did Superbad, but it's pretty cool. It has Seth Rogen as the voice of the alien, and it stars Jason Bateman, and it stars Sigourney Weaver, so it has a lot of really cool actors, and it's a really good movie. It even has a really cool scene where they're at Comic-Con, so I thought that was pretty cool. Picked up Armageddon, Michael Bay movie starring Bruce Willis and Ben Affleck. I read somewhere that NASA actually uses this movie to test new recruits. They have to find all the scientific inaccuracies that happen in the movie. But you know what? As much as I hate what Michael Bay did to the Transformers after the first one, because Transformers 2 and 3 weren't that good, damn it, I really like this movie. I really, really like the characters. The concept that, these oil drillers in 17 days get trained to go into space and stop this giant meteor the size of Texas is preposterous, but damn it, I love this movie. I've watched it 2 times since I bought it, and I still like it. I still have fun with it. I still, I'm actually at the edge of my seat when they reach the asteroid and everything hits the fan. But I really really like this movie. It's really fun. I don't know. Like I said, I have really really weird taste in movies, and I really like Armageddon. Picked up the full screen version of Castaway, starring Tom Hanks. I actually have difficulty watching this movie because it's him like stuck in this island and he's slowly going insane because he's all alone, and he creates his own friend and everything. Like I said, I have a problem with these type of movies. It's the same reason why I don't like Forrest Gump. I'll watch it, but I don't really like it, and I don't like Pursuit of Happiness. Those type of movies, I'll watch them, but I don't enjoy them much. But I do like watching them. But I don't know. And it's Tom Hanks. Tom Hanks is a great actor. So yeah. Speaking of Tom Hanks, I was able to pick up the 2-disc anniversary edition of Apollo 13. Now this is a movie I like. I like the whole traveling to space thing, and this has the full screen version, but it also has the IMAX version, plus a whole bunch of really cool documentaries and stuff about the Apollo missions and the voyage to the moon. Really really liked Apollo 13. I liked it a lot better than Castaway anyway. Picked up Enemy of the Gates, starring Jude Law and Ed Harris. A really good movie about World War II, and it's about these two snipers, one Russian, one German. They are hunting each other, and those scenes are freaking amazing. This movie is really really cool. Really recommend this movie. Also picked up First Night, starring Sean Connery and Richard Gere. It's basically another tale of Camelot, but near the end, where Lancelot falls in love with I forget her name, but she's Arthur's wife. So they kind of have this thing and this affair, and basically that leads to the downfall of Camelot. I don't know. I also really like this. I like the story of Camelot. So this I thought was pretty cool, and it has Sean Connery, so yeah. Picked up this J-horror anthology called Underworld. It has 6 little 50-minute stories of these J-horror movies, and some of them are actually pretty cool. They're not necessarily great, but because the thing I like about J-horror is that they set up the suspense, as opposed to most American horror movies where it's just like, ah, monster. This one's like creepy, nothing happens. And creepy, nothing happens. And then creepy, and it leaves you like in suspense. And that's the kind of horror I really like. Well, at the same time, it freaks me out. But like I said, these stories, some are better than others, but still, I'd recommend it. Picked up TMNT, the computer-generated movie that came out. This actually follows the timeline of the live-action Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This is set a few years after Turtles 3, and I liked it. The CGI wasn't that good, but it was pretty good. It has Sarah Michelle Gellar from Buffy the Vampire Slayer. It has Patrick Stewart from, of course, Star Trek and the X-Men movies. And it also has Chris Evans, Captain America and the Human Torch. So I liked it. I really, really liked it. I liked the battle between Raph and Leo. I thought that was pretty cool, and I like how they reintroduced the Foot Clan, and how the Turtles, after having their, after falling apart, they come back together as a family. I really like this movie. So yeah, really, really cool. And the last thing I picked up after this really long video is the complete Superman collection. I've seen this is a series of cartoons that came out in the 40s, released by Paramount before they were like the movie serials that they used to pass. And I've seen those big like 60 classic cartoon collections that has like Casper and Betty Boop and a few Supermans and Popeye and everything, but I've never seen an actual collection with all of the Superman shorts, and this one has all 17 of the Superman shorts, and the animation is really, really cool. I really, really like this. I remember watching it on TV once, and I was like blown away by how cool it is. So yeah, really, really cool. Really happy to pick this up, and can't wait to finish watching them, because oh yeah, they're cool. They're really cool. So yeah, that was the collection pick-up video. It's been 3 weeks, so that's why I have a lot of stuff to talk about. Like always, I like to recommend the standout things of the haul, and I'm gonna go with this one. If you can track down this version. It's actually the better one. Like I said, those big classic movie collections are pretty good, but this one's old Superman, and the video quality is actually a little better on this one. So this one, I'm gonna go with TMNT, because I'm a huge Turtle fan. I'm a huge Turtle fan, and this, like I said, continues the timeline of the live-action ones. So really cool. And just because it's the movie I enjoyed the most, I'm gonna go with Armageddon. Like I said, scientifically inaccurate. Yeah. Was it nominated for a whole bunch of Razzies? You bet. But god dang it, it's a really cool movie, and I really like it. And also Professional Golgo 13. Badass character, badass movie, badass animation. It's just badass. It's really cool. So yeah, that was the pickup video. Like always, thanks so much for watching, and until I see you all again, this is Vargas XX78, signing off.